Hey mathematicians, we're going to do a little bit of review on how to solve for unknown angle measures in a triangle. If you will remember from our NTI days, we learned that all three angles, when I add them up, will give me a sum of 180 degrees. We also reviewed that this little symbol in the corner means that that has to be a 90-degree angle. So I can add these together and write an equation equal to 180 to figure out what x has to be. That is going to look like, I've got a 90-degree angle here, so I'll start with that. And then that takes care of that, so I'm just going to cross it off to remind myself. I've got 3x minus 2. And I know that says minus. We're going to keep it as minus because that's what it said in the corner. Just because we're adding these two together, I'm not going to change that sign. And that takes care of that corner. And last I have an x, and remember that if I have a variable x without a coefficient out front, I'm allowed to give it a number, and that number has to be 1 because multiplying by 1 won't change anything. And that takes care of my third corner. I'm going to set them equal to 180. And now I can start identifying my like terms. So I've got a constant here, meaning a number with no variable, and a constant here, so there's a number with no variable. I'm going to write those together. That was a positive 90 and a minus 2. Next, let's have a look at the variables. I've got a 3x, there's no exponent involved, and a 1x with no exponent involved, so those must be like terms. My 3x is positive. And my 1x is positive. And it's still equal to 180. I'm not going to write it just yet. I know what 90 minus 2 is. And I know what 3x plus 1x is. So now I can write it again equal to 180, and this should look really familiar to you all because we have done two-step equations forever and ever and ever. So we draw our line, and we have to ask ourselves, which of these terms do I get rid of first? Because we're always getting stuff away from the x. The 4 is touching the x, our coefficient, so we're going to wait. That's our wrapping paper. We're going to get rid of the 88 first. That's the ribbon on our present. So subtract 88 from both sides. And these will cancel out, their additive inverses. That gets us 4x equals 92. And the operation happening between 4 and x is multiplication, so we will divide that out. And then we can divide 92 by 4 and see what we get. 4 will go into 9 2 times. My remainder is 1, so I drop that 2 down. And 4 will go into 12 3 times. So x is equal to 23, which is good because that was one of the answer options from our coloring sheet. So it looks like anywhere we see a 23, we will color it in. Or anywhere we see that 1 on the coloring sheet, we will color it in purple.